People choose Morton Buildings to build a variety of buildings for their property any time of year because they know Morton Buildings are built stronger, last longer, and look better. So if you need a garage, a stall barn, or a storage building for an RV, boat, or other vehicles, a shop for your farm, hobbies, or car restoration projects, or anything in between, act now and contact Morton Buildings at mortonbuildings.com. Don't delay. Construction schedules are filling up fast. That's mortonbuildings.com.
At World Whiskey Society, we're serious about two things, ducks and drams. That's why we teamed up with Ducks Unlimited for 3 collector-worthy releases: the Shotgun Shell American Single Malt, the Ceramic Duck Straight Bourbon, and the 10-year Special Edition Kentucky Straight Bourbon. Each bottle celebrates craftsmanship, conservation, and the spirit of the outdoors. Shop the full flight now at worldwhiskey.com. And when you buy any 2 Ducks Unlimited bottles, you'll get 10% off your order at worldwhiskey.com.
Cold mornings, fresh coffee from a thermos, the whistle of wings, and the palpable excitement of a good dog waiting to be sent. The moment before everything comes alive. Out there, it's not just about where the ducks are, it's about where you are. Onyx Hunt helps you understand the land with public and private boundaries, collaborative folders, and a fully functional GPS even with no service. Onyx is a tool you can trust when it matters most, because the best hunts aren't about luck, they're about knowing where you stand. Download Onyx Hunt today and try it free for 7 days.
Hunting season is upon us, and it's time to get geared up for the blind. Winchester, the official ammunition of Ducks Unlimited. Winchester has what you need to be successful this season with a great lineup of shot shell products, including Expert, Dry Lock, Final Pass, and Last Call Double Shot. Check out the brand new Final Pass, a premium steel blend load that utilizes 2 shot sizes for the perfect balance of pattern density and energy. Or try Last Call Double Shot with a devastating payload of tungsten and steel. Visit winchester.com to learn more and get ready for your next outdoor adventure.
When you step into the duck blind at first light, you're walking into something bigger than the hunt itself. For nearly 40 years, Mossy Oak has been rooted in conservation, from the dirt, sticks, and leaves that inspired original bottomland to the evolution of original shadowgrass and today's shadowgrass habitat. Each pattern tells a story of hunters, waterfowl, and the resource that connects us all. Mossy Oak continues its commitment to Ducks Unlimited through collaborative grassroots projects like Duck DNA and many more. We're thrilled to work side by side with DU and many others from the wildlife community to help protect the wetlands that make it all possible.
Can we do a mic check, please?
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Ducks Unlimited Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Mike Brazier.
I'm your host, Katie Burke.
I'm your host, Dr. Jared Henson. And I'm your host, Matt Harrison.
Welcome to the Ducks Unlimited Podcast, the only podcast about all things waterfowl. From hunting insights to science-based discussions about ducks, geese, and issues affecting waterfowl and wetlands conservation in North America. The DUPodcast, sponsored by Purina Pro Plan, the official performance dog food of Ducks Unlimited. Purina Pro Plan, always advancing. Also proudly sponsored by Bird Dog Whiskey and Cocktails. Whether you're winding down with your best friend or celebrating with your favorite crew, Bird Dog brings award-winning flavor to every moment. Enjoy responsibly.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Ducks Unlimited Podcast. I'm your host, Katie Burke. And today on the show, I have wildlife artist and 7-time winner of the Duck Stamp, Jim Hautman. Welcome to the show, Jim.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me on. It's an honor.
It's an honor to have you on. I was listening. I mean, we've actually had to reschedule a couple of times because of life. But I was listening to when I interviewed your brother not that long ago. And I guess it's been a while now. When did
I think, Joe won, I think, 4 years ago.
So yeah, it was right after your last win.
Right.
Yes.
So he has, and when you win, you have to sit out for 3 years. So he wasn't in it this year, but he'll be back.
He has to win next year to tie you.
He does. Yeah.
So what order, I forgot, he's older, right? correct?
Joe's older, and then I'm the youngest, and then Bob's in between me and Joe as far as the boys go. We had 7 kids, though.
There's 7. Okay, I thought I was going to say 5, but there's 7. So there was 4 girls?
2 girls, 5 boys.
2 girls, 5 boys. Yep. Are you the baby?
I am the baby.
Yeah, it's good to be the baby. I'm also the baby. So let's kind of go back to the beginning, because I don't know how many people know y'all's story and your story in particular, but it's interesting because you have kind of an artsy. I know when I talk to Joe, y'all have kind of always had art in your life. So can you kind of go back to what it was like growing up in Minnesota and like having kind of an outdoor life, and as well as like an art background, like in your family life?
Yeah. Well, we grew up in an artistic family. My mom was a professional artist, and my dad never considered himself an artist, but he was very good. He did paintings of almost exclusively duck paintings back in the 40s and 50s. And I was born in 1964. By the time I came along, he had never painted again, but he kind of liked to duck hunt. He liked everything about ducks, and he's the one that taught us about the different species. And I remember him saying that he collected duck stamps, starting with the very first one. And I remember him saying there's a contest for that you can enter. And he said, I always wanted to enter, but he never got around to it. So it was quite the thrill for him when we started winning some of these things.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I knew that your mother was an artist, and I knew that your father hunted and stuff, and I knew he collected duck stamps, but I didn't realize he also was painted and was an artist. And duck specifically. That's interesting.
Yeah, he was a big duck hunter. And then by the time I was old enough to hunt, he had quit hunting by then too. So he would just tell us how to do it. He would tell us where to go and what to do, and then we'd come home and report us, and he'd tell us what we did wrong. And
as dads do.
You hear that banging in the background? There's a turkey.
Oh, I don't hear it. You have a turkey?
He's fighting with his reflection in the glass on my studio window.
I can't believe he's that fired up. It's October.
Yeah, I know. I can't either. It's been a strange year, though. I mean, we had such a warm fall.
Yeah.
The lilacs started blooming, and I've hardly got any duck hunting in because it's been so warm.
Yeah.
But it's turning cold today, so I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, we've had our kind of like our first touch of fall down here. It's been really hot here, too. Yeah, I hear him back there. That's funny.
You want me to go chase him off?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
No, it's perfectly fine. Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, it's been kind of warm here too. We're first finally getting it. It is what it is. Hopefully it'll get cold for us, but probably won't get cold in time for y'all to duck hunt. But
yeah, I think it's coming. It's about 45 degrees and rainy and windy today. So today would have been a good day, but I finally turned the furnace on for the first time this morning.
Yeah, that is late. With you being the youngest and your dad teaching you to him being the hunting one, did he teach any of your brothers to hunt?
He did, yeah. He took out the older boys some, and me being the last one, he didn't. And like I said, he would tell us what to do. And then eventually towards the end, we got him out there a couple times. And I remember we couldn't hit anything. And one time we said, all right, you got to show us how to do it. We had a mallard in a pond that we knew where it was. So he walked out there, and the bird got up and was just flying away, and he wasn't shooting. His gun was at his side. And I thought, well, he's not going to shoot. Well, Bob and I would have shot our 3 shots off too early and missed. And we thought, well, he's not going to shoot. And then it finally got out there about 35 yards, and he pulled up and dropped the bird. And it was quite the lesson. I was like, all right, be calm, let it get to the right range, and then go.
Oh, yeah. No, we call my sister-in-law hunts with us, and she never hunted. She just started hunting when she married my brother, and we always call her Pow Pow because she has a little over-under 20 gauge shotgun, and that thing goes off so quick, like it's just like pow.
That's the excitement when it's new to you.
Yeah, I was like, those shots go off before she even gets her gun up. Like, they're just so quick.
Yeah.
So it's different for me because I'm the youngest, and my brother hunted with my dad a lot. And then he got to a certain age where he wanted to go hunt it with his friends. And so dad lost his buddy. And as a girl, I got lucky in that because I was there and willing to go. So I got to go hunting pretty young. Like I got to go a lot just because Christopher was too cool to like go with my dad at that point.
Oh, that's
but
great,
you had
though.
big brothers, so I'm guessing you had plenty of people to help you out.
Yeah, it was really just so exciting. I just always wanted to hunt, you know, and he would send us out to in western Minnesota, and it was a WPA, of course, bought with duck stamp dollars. And he said he was very careful about trespassing and everything. And he's like, "Here's a place I know you can hunt." And so that's just where we hunted every time we went for the first 3 or 4 years. We went right on this point he told us to go. And we were still using his cork decoys that he carved back in the 30s when he was a kid. And we'd put all the old cork decoys out. And we'd say, "They're not coming in. It's the decoys." He said, "It's not the decoys." And of course, it wasn't the decoys. And we eventually went and bought a bunch of new plastic decoys, and they didn't work any better than the corkies did. But at least we weren't losing them and wrecking them anymore because they're kind of collector's items.
Yeah,
now.
I was just say, did you keep any of them?
I do. Yeah, I have a pair of bluebills, pair of cans, pair of mallards, and a couple standing mallards. And everybody in the family has a few. You know, I think he had 72 of them at one point.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, that's a big rig of. I mean, y'all do bigger rigs up there than we do. But did you have to repaint them at all, or did you have them all like in original?
Yeah, we repainted them now and then. I kind of hated to do it too.
Yeah, but you were using them, so I mean.
True.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Like, because I deal a lot with the museum and stuff. I'm always dealing with decoys and antique decoys, but like, I think now with people collecting them like they do, they forget like these are first and foremost useful objects. They were tools. We now consider them art, but originally they were tools, and you're gonna get, especially depending on like where you are in the country, you're gonna get repaint and you're gonna get touch ups, and that's a pretty natural thing to get.
Yeah, they're all shot up too, and that's kind of cool. They have some pellets in.
Yeah, they've lived a life. They've seen ducks. No, I think that's cool. I'm glad you kept them. That's really neat. I can't believe you had 72. That's a big rig of decoys.
I know it was, and they were heavy too. I remember him telling a story about his dad, so my grandpa and his friend, one time when they were using them, and he went back to the vehicle and they got done and they came back, and instead of bagging them up, they all just grabbed a handful of weights and dragged them across a plowed cornfield. He was so mad.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of work. I mean, because I'm guessing they all had wood heads.
Yeah, they're wood heads and a wooden keel, and then cork bodies, and then
that's a lot of work.
And long cords too. We hunt some deep water up here too, so it's kind of a pain. I mean, I remember we used to have 4 or 5 that we'd have like 40-foot cords on for certain lakes we hunted, just because that's what it took, you know. But it makes picking up a lot slower.
Yeah, it takes a long time to get all that up. You know, I'm spoiled down here in Mississippi. We hunt in like 3 feet water.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Half the time, you don't even really need to put weights on them. You can just go pick them up if they float away. It's not a big deal. That's really interesting. So, what was your mom doing as an artist at that time, as a professional artist?
You know, by the time I came around, she had, 7 kids. She quit the professional part of it, but she always painted. So we grew up with paints all over. And as busy as she was, she would always find time, or she would see something she wanted to paint. So she did everything from still lifes to landscapes to abstracts. And then eventually she got into doing kind of what I would call cave art. It looked like the art you would see in the paintings. Yeah, like Lascaux cave type stuff. So she went through a lot of different phases. And, I kind of learned that from her. It really doesn't matter what you paint, like you could make a good painting of anything, really. I remember one time she and one of her painting friends set up their easels and were looking for something to paint, and they painted the trash cans and the garbage in the corner, and they were great. So I learned that it's not about the subject matter. It's just about how you see whatever you're looking at.
Yeah, that's really interesting because I would think that's pretty different perspective from a lot of wildlife artists, or a different. It's not like, not to be disparaging, but I feel like it gets to be so realistic. But there's a lot to learn from doing different things, right? Like that's all very helpful in the end because you may learn things that you can use in something else, right? Like you're learning a lot, like almost like doing something simple like a trash can. You learn so much about light and color because it's to make a trash can interesting. You have to do something to it, right? Like you can't.
Well, it's interesting. We're all, at least in my field, everybody's trying to be realistic, but that's a pretty broad term. It's like, well, realistic in what way? It doesn't have to be the detail. It doesn't even have to be the anatomy, but everybody sees reality different too. And I think it's just interesting how you see, I've never tried to come up with like a style, like a Jim Hautman style. I kind of try not to do that. I kind of try to just put on the canvas what I see that I like.
I mean, it probably happens organically. I would assume eventually you have a style organically, like that you don't realize you even do.
Exactly. I think that's what a style really is. I mean, if you try to come up with a style, I don't think that would really work. I think you just have to let it happen, and you may not even be able to see it, but other people can see.
Yeah,
it.
I can pick out your stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I can pick out yours. And now I don't know if I can tell the difference between you and Joe. Yeah. I usually can tell Bob's. He has there's something about his that are usually a little bit different. But yours and
Joe's
tough.
the toughest one. I think he's the toughest one to pick out just because he's a little more experimental. He'll do one thing and then the next painting he'll use, he'll do a watercolory thing and then he'll do something loose and then he'll do something tight. And his would probably be the toughest to ID.
Yeah. And the only thing I can tell that y'all, this is funny. Whenever you do anything flying, I can pick out y'all's flying birds way quicker than I can anything like sitting on the water or sitting on the like standing. And there's a you have with the way you paint spread feathers.
Yeah.
There's something.
Yeah, and that's probably because there's more interpretation on a flying bird. And I like to do flying birds, especially for the duck stamp contest, because I think they're harder to do. Yeah. And so fewer people do them. But, most photographs of flying birds look weird.
Yeah, because they're blurry. A lot of times they're blurry.
They're blurry, or even if they're frozen in super focus, you don't see them like that. They don't appear like that. So doing a flying bird is not, you can't copy a photo usually and have it look right because, I've taken over 2 million photos and, it's 1 in 1,000 that's even worth looking at. And, but every time I do a flying bird, I'm always adjusting to make it look like they look, not look like just how they photograph.
Right. I would guess this would be a good example where hunting would help you when it comes to being out in nature with them. Versus looking at a lot of people look at photographs and go take photographs, but I would think having more experience seeing birds flying and coming in, that would help you a lot with getting it right.
That's exactly right. Because when you're hunting, and usually when I hunt, I used to always bring my camera, but I found I would always grab the shotgun when birds were coming in. Yeah. And you really can't do both, but not having the camera really helps because then you can see how they appear, not how they photograph, but how they really look. So I think it helps. Well, it obviously helps to have photographs, but I think it helps to spend a lot of time not photographing, and hunting is that for sure. So
yeah, and because also I would think if you pick up the camera right, you're looking and then you're shooting the picture and then you're looking at the picture. So because you can't help. I don't know anyone who can't take a picture and then immediately look at the screen.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if that's possible, but when you're hunting, because you're you're eventually going to shoot. You're watching that bird come like through the frame more, right? Like you're kind of watching its full approach.
Well,
and if you miss, you're watching it leave. Like you're getting more of a full motion of it.
Well, and also another big part of it is that, you have to be able to ID the bird. So you know if it's a species that you want to shoot or if it's a species that you can shoot. So hunting, you really learn like why, it may be dark out almost. And if it's a redhead or a can coming through, you learn the difference because you have to, and it's the way they carry their head and the shape and the wing beat and all that stuff. So people that I sometimes hunt with will say, wow, you must have amazing eyes because you can tell what kind of bird that is. And it's not the eyesight. It's
eyesight,
just knowing what to look for. Start with the wing beat. And just, the way they hold their head, how long their tail is, even if it's a silhouette. And it's funny because every year, the first time out, it's kind of hard. And then by the end of the season, you're dialed in and you can just figure out what they are from, quarter mile away.
No, my husband is from Massachusetts and he did not hunt before he met me.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, he's from like the burbs of Boston. So he did not grow up in a hunting family and I very much did. So I am the hunter in our relationship, and he's still like, we've been married for 13 years now, and he's still like, he's still like, I don't know what is what. You have to tell me, and he because he's like, I just don't have good eyesight. It's like it's not about eyesight. It's like the pattern they make. I don't know the motion they make. Like certain birds fly in a certain way, and other birds don't. Like I can just tell you by the way they're coming in, like what they are.
Yeah, and the flock formation, that's another good tip. Yeah.
That would be so beneficial when you're trying to like get it right on canvas versus like looking at pictures all the time. Because when I look at, I like that you do flying on the duck stamp because I don't think a lot of artists think about, I think the winners do, like people who have won or are close to winning, think about what it's going to look like when you that's one of my biggest pet peeves, like with the duck stamp, is like they didn't think about what this is going to look like when they shrink it down. Like,
yeah,
like they were just like thinking about what they're going to put on this size canvas, but you also have to think about what it's going to look like as a stamp. Yeah. And the flying birds really pop on stamps, like especially if it's because my other biggest pet peeve is when people don't put the full duck. I'm like, you're not going to win. You have to put the full duck.
Yeah, that's tough too. Yeah, I heard there was a couple comments about mine that people thought it would be too confusing.
Really?
Because it's three birds flying, and I wanted to do three birds flying, but
you did a bufflehead.
They've gotten into this thing. They do a big bird on the water because they know that'll look good as a stamp. But I shrunk mine down. When I was working on it down to stamp size, and it was clearly three buffalo heads flying. So I wasn't worried about it. I didn't look at
yours and think that at all.
Good. Well, I was worried that someone might think it though, But I think they look at them through a reducing glass at the judging, so they know what it looks like small.
Yeah, because that's the big thing when I look. I'm like, well, this one's not going to work because I won't but I can like mark off a bunch of people. Like that's not going to work at this size. But no, I would think you're three because they're buffleheads too. Because like they're little birds and they fly you don't see single ones really. Like they kind of come in a group.
Well, they have such a distinctive pattern too. That's what appealed to me about them, and why I wanted to do them flying was that just that pattern when they fly is so striking. Just that black and white stripes, and I remember the first time seeing them fly by, I was like, wow, I can't believe I just saw that.
And I think that's the cool thing about buffaloes. Like seeing a sitting bufflehead, I don't know. They're not my favorite. They're like they kind of have a grebe look to them.
Yeah,
they are cute
though.
But I don't know. When I saw it like that, I was like, oh, that's going to shrink down and look nice. It'll pop. Because I think that's part of it is it's got to stand out on the stamps.
That's one thing interesting about the contest is it's a painting that has to look good next to a bunch of other paintings. It's not a standalone
That's
piece.
interesting. I've never thought of it that way, but that's true.
Yeah, and mine, and there's some luck there too, in that when it got down to the end, the last 4 were 3 single birds.
Yeah,
on
and yours
the
was
water.
the only flying.
And then, so I mean, if they're maybe they're splitting votes on the other ones or whatever it was, but I didn't go into it thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to win this year. I liked my piece, but as I watched the judging unfold, I started to have a feeling like, hey, this could win. And
when I started getting down and I realized, I was like, oh, they really don't like wood ducks this year. It's like, I saw that was really surprising. I was kind of shocked by that because usually wood ducks are super. Them and pintails always win. Yeah,
pintails are amazing.
Yeah, those are the two I feel like the most popular ones, and I was kind of shocked that they just were like, nope, not picking any, because Scott's wood ducks were really good.
Yeah, those were good. Yeah, he was leading after the second round.
And then they just were like, nah, we don't want a wood duck.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what went through their minds. And Bob had a really nice one too. I thought he. I
don't think I knew which one his was. So I need to go back.
Yeah, his was the one. It was right after mine.
Okay, so yeah,
it was a single bufflehead on the water. Really, really well done. But there was a lot of single birds on the water. And I think sometimes the judges are looking at 300 paintings and
want something different. Yeah,
I don't know. Something different, I think, can help. But then you never know. I mean, next year maybe it's a bunch of flying ones, and the guy with one on the water wins. That sure happens.
And the judges are so different every time. Like you never know what's going to happen. Yeah.
Well, I was happy when the judging started. I looked at the panel, and I think 3 of them had camouflage on, and another one I know was a hunter, and I thought, okay, that's good, because hunters in general like flying birds probably more than non-hunters is my observation.
Why do you think that? I'm just interested.
Well, because they see them. They see them.
Yeah, it's more of like a feeling of place, I guess. Like, yeah, that's something you see. That makes sense. Because I would think that's like the big thing in wildlife art that drives hunters to buy stuff. Is it like reminds them of a place they hunt or? Exactly. Yeah.
It's all about, the hunting season's pretty short really. And you think about it the rest of the year and people just like to look at something on the wall that reminds them of, their favorite time of year, hunting season.
Yeah. All right. So we have to get back to the beginning, but let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Stay tuned to the Ducks Unlimited podcast, sponsored by Purina Pro Plan and Bird Dog Whiskey, after these messages.
People choose Morton Buildings to build a variety of buildings for their property any time of year because they know Morton Buildings are built stronger, last longer, and look better. So if you need a garage, a stall barn, or a storage building for an RV, boat, or other vehicles, a shop for your farm, hobbies, or car restoration projects, or anything in between, act now and contact Morton Buildings at mortonbuildings.com. Don't delay. Construction schedules are filling up fast. That's mortonbuildings.com.
At World Whiskey Society, we're serious about 2 things, ducks and drams. That's why we teamed up with Ducks Unlimited for 3 collector-worthy releases: the Shotgun Shell American Single Malt, the Ceramic Duck Straight Bourbon, and the 10-year Special Edition Kentucky Straight Bourbon. Each bottle celebrates craftsmanship, conservation, and the spirit of the outdoors. Shop the full flight now at worldwhiskey.com. And when you buy any 2 Ducks Unlimited bottles, you'll get 10% off your order at worldwhiskey.com.
Cold mornings, fresh coffee from a thermos, the whistle of wings, and the palpable excitement of a good dog waiting to be sent. The moment before everything comes alive. Out there, it's not just about where the ducks are. It's about where you are. Onyx Hunt helps you understand the land with public and private boundaries, collaborative folders, and a fully functional GPS even with no service. Onyx is a tool you can trust when it matters most, because the best hunts aren't about luck. They're about knowing where you stand. Download Onyx Hunt today and try it free for 7 days.
Hunting season is upon us, and it's time to get geared up for the blind. Winchester, the official ammunition of Ducks Unlimited. Winchester has what you need to be successful this season with a great lineup of shot shell products, including Expert, Dry Lock, Final Pass, and Last Call Double Shot. Check out the brand new Final Pass, a premium steel blend load that utilizes 2 shot sizes for the perfect balance of pattern density and energy. Or try Last Call Double Shot with a devastating payload of tungsten and steel. Visit winchester.com to learn more and get ready for your next outdoor adventure.
When you step into the duck blind at first light, you're walking into something bigger than the hunt itself. For nearly 40 years, Mossy Oak has been rooted in conservation. From the dirt, sticks, and leaves that inspired original bottomland to the evolution of original shadowgrass and today's shadowgrass habitat. Each pattern tells a story of hunters, waterfowl, and the resource that connects us all. Mossy Oak continues its commitment to Ducks Unlimited through collaborative grassroots projects like Duck DNA and many more. We're thrilled to work side by side with DU and many others from the wildlife community to help protect the wetlands that make it all possible.
All right, welcome back. I'm here with Jim Hautman, and we had kind of gone off and talked a little bit about this year with the duck stamp, but I want to go back. When you were growing up, did you show interest in art early and always, or like, was it something?
Yeah.
How did that look?
Well, I mean, I have paintings that I don't remember doing from when I was really small, but I remember going to kindergarten and we all painted and drew in our house. And being the youngest one, my stuff wasn't as good, you know. And I remember getting to kindergarten one day, and they said, "All right, we're going to paint a city scene." And all the kids got out crayons and watercolors, and mine turned out pretty good. I'm looking around at everybody else's, and I'm like, "Hey, mine looks pretty good." And the teacher pulled mine aside and liked it, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm actually good at something," you know. But I didn't know that growing up because my brothers and sisters were all ahead of me, you know.
Yeah.
So I knew right away that it was something I liked to do and that I was pretty good at. And surprisingly, I'm still doing it.
I think I've talked about this before. Just like I have young kids, and but even for me too, as a kid, like, so my background, I went into art, and I was a fine arts major at first, and I didn't like being told what to do, so I quit that and became an art history major. Mm-hmm. But that being told by somebody that you're good at something that isn't your parents, like, it has an effect on kids. Like when they hear that, like, I feel like it means, because it definitely did something to me. Like, I was told that I was good at it by people that weren't my parents, and then I was like, oh, okay, well, I can do this. This is something. And I was the youngest too, so I was like wanting to stand out in some way. And I was like, oh, well, I can be the artsy one. Like, that's fine.
There you go.
And so, like, I mean, and obviously it affected me, because then I went into art history and curatorial stuff. So I don't know, that does have an impact. Like when you're told you're pretty good at something, like then.
Yeah, but I think some people just naturally gravitate towards art too. I mean, some people are just more visual,
100%.
You know. I mean, it's not necessarily about creativity, or certainly not about coordination. It's just, it's all about, are you visual, and do you see things, and does that make you excited to do something about it, you know? Yeah,
I think so too. And like, I know, like, I realized, you know, when I was in school that, like, oh, I'm good, but I'm not that good. So I'm not going to like go that avenue. But I loved art. Like, I loved being around it. I loved seeing it. I always could tell what was good. Like, that's another thing. Like, I can, and I even can do it now with like the decoys. I pretty quickly figured out, oh, this is good and this isn't good. Like, I can tell, you know, like, you can see shape and form and that sort of thing.
Wait. You should apply to be a judge on
I've
the
already
Federal Duck
tried.
Stamp Contest.
I don't know. I told Suzanne that I wanted to be one, and so they have to nominate you, I think.
Oh, but you can let them know you're willing to be nominated. That's
I have done that,
yeah.
so we shall see. It's
Good.
coming to Memphis next year, so maybe they'll give me a call.
I heard that. Yeah.
Hopefully they hear this and like, oh, we should call her. She's local. We don't have to help. We don't have to pay for her to be there.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. I'll be there as the reigning guy. I won't be entered, so that makes it more fun when you're not in the contest, because it's a little more relaxing. It's still pretty intense.
Oh, I
just to
bet. I'm
watch
excited. And it'll be fun to have it here. I think we're having it here at headquarters. So, you'll have lots of, like, I'm sure people will come that are in it, but like just the people in this office will have, 200 people that'll be into it. So yeah, it'll be
great.
It'll be neat. I don't think we've ever done it here.
I don't think you have. No, I mean, they only started moving it around in the last 15 years or so. It used to always be at the Department of Interior in Washington, and then they started moving it around. But I think your place.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. We'll have to do something on camera too when you're here. So to do another one of these. But okay, so you were artsy. So at what point did you do the junior duck stamp at all? Did it exist then?
No, that
I didn't
wasn't
think
around.
So when would you have thought about who did the duck stamp first? Who entered first?
Well, just going back. So yeah, growing up, painted this, that, the other thing, just kind of whatever, not for money, up until late high school. You're starting to think about, hey, I'm going to have to make a living at some point. So right about, I was probably about 18, I started doing some pen and inks and selling a few, like, I don't know, the church had a little show or whatever. And then not spending a lot of time at it. And then we were painting, actually, Bob and I were painting houses after, when I got out of high school, that's
Joe
pretty
was
good
in
motivation.
college, right? Yeah, because he's
Joe
he
went a different route. He went to college for forever. Yeah, he has a PhD in physics, and so he was off doing his thing. And Bob and I were painting houses and then painting ducks, and selling a few, enough to keep buying materials anyway. And then we started entering duck stamp contests.
Okay, so y'all were doing it together. Okay.
Yeah, actually, I started first, and then Bob saw me doing it, and he thought, well, that looks like fun. I mean, all the materials were there, so he started it, picked it up right away. And then Bob won the first duck stamp contest of any of us. He won the Minnesota contest in 1987, and that was great. I mean, because you never really know if you're going to make it till you make it, and that was just the first big break, and when you're beating guys like Dave Moss and Terry Redland.
Yeah, I was going to say, who was there at that time? So it was like Terry Redland and...
Oh, he was in it. And actually, you know what? He had won the year before Bob won it. So he was a judge. They used to have the previous winner judge. So that was great. And then all of a sudden I won Delaware and Nevada back to back. And then the next one I won was the
You
federal.
were the youngest at that time, right?
Yeah, I was 25 when I won the federal.
I guess you were the youngest until Adam Grimm won.
Correct. Yep. No, that's a record you can't go back and retake.
I'm still secretly hoping his daughter steals it from him. So
it wouldn't surprise me.
She's something.
Yeah.
I was I told him this, and I'm friends with Adam. And I told him when he won, the year before, last year, I was like, oh, I'm sad you lost because I kind of was hoping you would have to compete and she'd beat you.
It wouldn't surprise me. She's serious and she's talented.
Yeah,
so.
I was like, I'm a little sad. Now you have like 3 years off before you have to compete against her.
Yeah, and maybe she'll win before then too.
Yeah, so they may have a while, but who knows? Yeah, so you were the youngest. And then at that time, so what year was that you won?
It was 1989 that the contest was, yeah.
So was it still the same way with, like it is now, like for careers? Like when you win the stamp, it kind of changes your career as a wildlife artist?
It was more of a factor then.
That's what I thought. That was really what I was getting at, yeah.
It was, and especially for me, because I was, relatively unknown at the time. And now, people are like, you won again. Oh, yeah. Yep. How many is that? 3, 4, 7. What, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But when you're 25 and you have never won it and you win it, it was quite the deal. I mean, my phone didn't stop ringing. I mean, I would hang it up. This was pre-answering machine, but I would hang it up and I couldn't walk 10 feet. It would ring again. It was just insane. And this mostly friends and people congratulating me, but also everything, newspapers and galleries. And it was upending my life, but in a good way.
Yeah, because I understand it more now, like how it works now for wildlife artists. But at that point, and then because you're so young too, like I'm guessing at that point, yeah, you're just trying to win these competitions, right? So that you can get some money so you can continue doing it. I'm guessing that's the goal. So after winning the federal, how does that change your like focus as an artist? Like, because I mean, you have this time off, you're not going to stop creating. So do something similar, or how do you like as an artist, what are you kind of evolving as once you've gotten that support?
Yeah, I guess I can't really remember. I mean, this was a long time ago, but I mean, there was something in me that wanted to keep doing what I was doing, but also you don't want to start copying yourself. You want to branch out. And so I've always painted a lot of different subject matters, but ducks are probably my favorite to paint. I mean, there's so many different species too. It's great. You never get tired of it.
Yeah. Birds are interesting.
And I remember what I really liked about it getting started was the fact that the contest is anonymous. So when you're an unknown person and not good at tooting your own horn, to be able to do something and no one would know who it was so appealing, rather than having them look at it and say, well, okay, this is a nice painting, but who did it and what's their resume and how old are they? To me, that was the big appeal of the duck stamp.
Yeah, and it still is. Like, there are certain, I think some of us out here can pick out certain people. I mean, I'm not always good at it. I can get it wrong too. I can sometimes pick out certain artists, but I get it wrong as much as I get it right. Like, because I did not guess Bob's this time. Yeah,
did you guess mine?
I thought it was yours. I was pretty sure. I think I had another one that I was like, maybe this one. I think it was like it was another flying duck, but I thought so. Just mostly by what was the word I'm looking for? Like the layout of it.
Yeah.
That's where, like, the background I got closer on the background than I did on the other one. I was like, I don't think the background's right.
Yeah. Well,
you have a moss vibe to your background.
Well, I like to, I don't try to have them recognizable either. I don't think people do. I would like to do something that no one, and I think when I won with the 3 geese in 2017, nobody knew that was mine.
No.
And it was different. And even one of the judges I knew, and she didn't know it was mine. She was surprised at the end too. And that was something I really liked about that. And that was a funny one because I had done the study for that 2 years prior. And it was very different. Again, the smaller birds flying, 3 of them. And I really liked it. And I showed it around to a lot of people. And I just wasn't getting the reaction. They're like, well, that doesn't look like a normal duck stamp. And my brother Joe really liked it though. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm going to. So I did some Canada geese on the water and they didn't do very good. And then the next time geese were eligible, I didn't have time and I was just going to resend the one on the water back in. And then with 4 days to go, I thought, you know what? I always regretted not doing that painting. So I just sat down and worked straight for 4 days and didn't expect to win, and it won. And there was something really satisfying about that. And the fact that nobody knew who it was.
Yeah, I get them sometimes. I definitely guessed Joe Swan. I had that one down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. What also looks like another one he did.
Both of his swans are like when Joe nails one, I mean, we just look at it and go, okay, you're going to win. You win.
The light on that one was so good. It was, and doing white birds it's tough.
Yeah.
Like to make them look good. But Yeah, I guess that. Well, this one I couldn't get that many people this time. I thought I had Rebecca's and I had it wrong. She was She was a different one, and it really surprised me.
Yeah.
Because last year I had her pegged, and this year I was like, I was way off.
Which one was she? No, I can't remember.
She was a wood duck on the water, and she was towards the end.
Oh, yeah. That was nice.
I had hers and Madison's confused. They were similar.
Yeah, Madison's was the one standing in shallow water, right? Yeah.
Yep.
I recognized Scott's and
Scott's I did.
Greg Alexander I recognized. And but yeah, not as many as normal. I probably recognized only 10 or so.
Yeah, and then I had some people down to like a couple. Like, oh, this might be this person, but this also might be this person. Yeah. I had it down. I think I had you down to 2, and I was like, I think this is his. And then when it popped up towards the end, I was like, it's definitely Jim. The other one was the one I was iffy on, and I was like, oh no, I'm right this time. That's interesting. Like you said, how often do you, when you're going into the duck stamp, do you change your mind like that often, or do you leave it that late?
No, I usually.
It just depends.
I usually start at least a month ahead. And that goose one was a whole different deal. And I think that's part of why it turned out too. I had an idea in my head, so I wasn't changing things. I was just concentrating on my idea, and it went really fast. Whereas a lot of times, like this year with my background, I originally had it set on a real dead calm lake with the nice reflections, and but it just didn't. It didn't work. It didn't have the action. The birds looked kind of frozen. And actually, it was Bob's suggestion. He said, well, why don't you put waves in there? And, we were driving home from somewhere, and he said that. I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I got home and just painted the water out, and actually had to do the waves 3 times. But that once there was waves in there, that gave the birds action too. So that was a good call on his part. I'm glad he was in second place.
Yeah, that would have been mean. How do y'all often like consult each other on your stuff? Like, are you always kind of going back?
Pretty much. And more so on the duck stamps. On the regular paintings, almost every one I do, I'll either bring it over to them or email and get the critique, and that is really helpful. But especially on a duck stamp, because on a duck stamp, any little thing wrong can sink you. So you want some eyes looking at it to tell you in case you're missing something. Because you look at it so much you can miss something, and then if you put it away and pulled it out a year later, it'd be obvious what you did wrong. But so it's nice when you're working on it to have some feedback. So we're always, and then comparing them up, that helped too. I remember comparing mine up to Bob's this year with about 2 weeks left, and his kind of blew mine away. This was before the waves and stuff too. And that just, it just made me know that I need to do something, because if I can't beat him, I'm not going to win. So I know I had to beat at least him. And, but his was really nice too. I actually thought he was going to win this year.
Yeah, he's due one. He hasn't had one in a minute.
It hasn't been that long, but...
No, he had his last one was a Canada goose.
No, he did flying mallards in 20.
It was the last time I think mallards
16 or something. Yeah,
I just imagine y'all having each other has got to be like the biggest advantage.
It's great
that y'all have. Yeah.
And when my mom was alive too, she was great at critiquing too, because she kind of looked at it different than other people did. She just had such an eye for design and things, and so she would point stuff out that no one else would, and it would, something that, like, especially when she got older, she'd be like, well, this is confusing, what's going on here, and then you knew, well, that's good to know, there's something there's a way to see that isn't the way I want people to see it.
Right.
So even if someone can't tell you, I mean, I get critiques from everybody, the electrician or the neighbors or, just anybody, because people can see things that you can't see because you're kind of snowblind to the thing.
Yeah. And I think being siblings as well, like, and then your mom, like, you're not worried about hurting the other person's feelings.
Oh,
Like,
no.
like that doesn't bother. That's not, if it's a friend or something. I mean, eventually, if you're good enough friends, it's fine. But like siblings, we don't care about hurting the other person's feelings. Like it's not a thing. Yeah.
And I learned early on too. If you're struggling on a painting or whatever, and someone starts critiquing it, and then you start to get mad or defensive about it. I learned early on that means they're right and you're wrong. And that's partly why you're getting mad. So, even if the reason that they say something isn't working, there's something there that's not right. And it's just helpful to know that it needs to be changed. So you kind of go back to the drawing board and say, what if I was starting over? Would I do it like that? No.
Yeah. And that's really good advice. Like in that what they're saying may not be what you should do, but there's definitely something that should be done.
Yeah. Well, I had a wood duck painting I was working on last summer, and it had 3 wood ducks standing on this kind of curvy, snaky-looking branch. I wasn't too sure about it, and several people said, "Oh, I like that branch." And I remember I was telling that to Joe. He says, "Oh, that's not good." The fact that they kept singling it out and saying didn't mean they liked the painting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I took it out and put something else in there, and it worked. So it's even a positive comment can be a negative comment sometimes.
Yeah, well, especially for the duck stamp, like you don't want people. There was another one that was like that this time. I remember people were saying like they liked the branch, and I was like, well, you don't want the branch to be the focal point of the duck stamp,
right?
It's not the branch stamp. It's the duck stamp. So like, yeah, you may want to. That's not good.
Yeah,
you're right. Because like that's a huge thing. That's really interesting. Yeah, but that relationship y'all have is, I think that helps y'all so much.
Oh, for sure,
for success.
It's a huge event. And I know there are other artists. Some artists that I know, they do have little artist groups that get together, and I'm sure that works the same way. People probably critique, they critique each other's paintings, and then whoever's getting critiqued gets mad. But then you have a chance to get even when they put their painting up there too. But
that's right.
It's all good. You got to be able to take it. If it's making you mad, then it's your fault, your own fault, probably.
Yeah, that was when you grow up and you're like going through art, like any art class as when you grow up, like in elementary, middle, and high school. And when I first went to my first like drawing class in college, and we had to put and it was like the kind of drawing class where they would like like in the middle of the room, there would be a platform, and then there would just be a bunch of crap. Like just, like draw your angle of this pile of stuff. And then you'd have to put them all up. And that first critique, I was like, "Ooh, this is gonna be." It's like, no, I've never had to do this before. Like this is a new experience. This is gonna be super humbling.
Yeah, some people can't take it. Some people can't take it, and they don't show their stuff to people like that.
Yeah, and it's definitely not helpful. No, in the end, yeah, you definitely have to show your stuff. I've been very impressed with some of these younger duck stamp artists who are putting everything online, like the whole process.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
It's very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it is, and I don't think we talked about this on her episode, but I think I talked about with Rebecca when I saw her at Easton and about this. Because, she's been entering for a long time and has had such growth as an artist over that time. Like you can kind of look at all our entries and just looking at having your growth be published like that. That's tough.
Yeah, I don't do. I'm not on any. But I could see it being helpful though.
Oh yeah, it's definitely helpful. I think they get a lot more. They're kind of fast pacing some of the help that they may not have gotten if they were doing it on their own. It helped to connect them to other artists.
Yeah.
A little bit faster, but yeah, it's vulnerable.
It is. Yeah.
I can't imagine doing that and knowing, and then also you talked about this earlier, but yours is anonymous. Like no one knows who that was your painting until the end, right?
Yeah.
But these people, like we know which ones their paintings are. Like,
yeah, I know.
So we're watching it get judged.
That's a little bit weird too. I'm not sure how they get away with that, because that is kind of counter to the whole anonymous part,
Yeah, I'm sure they have to, like the judges have, if they have Instagram, they have to like not like, turn off that, like those people. And
you would hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, because you don't want any sort of like favorite, because that's the great thing about the duck stamp is that you don't know who it is.
Yeah.
So there's no favoritism.
Yeah, it's great.
No. But that's a really different. What do you think about that in terms of like promoting the duck stamp?
Well, I think it's great for promoting it. But it's mostly promoting it to artists, which is good, but I wish there was a way to promote it more towards collectors and potential collectors, Like I'd love to see more bird watchers get into the duck stamp and collect the duck stamp,
Yeah.
So that social media, it sure can't hurt that. But I'm guessing that most of the people that follow that are artists.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, if it's mostly artists or... I don't think it's bird watchers.
Yeah, but I mean, it leads to PR of any kind, that mushrooms out, and any press is good press, like they say.
Yeah. And so, which is also interesting because now you can buy it online. Do y'all still get for the online purchases? Is that like, how does that work for the artist now that it's online? Do you know?
I just go old fashioned and just go into the post office and buy my stamp usually. Yeah.
Yeah. But does that like affect, so, because for you as like what do you get? Just like, I feel like we did this before with Joe, but explain to me, like, what does the artist get after he or she wins the stamp?
Well, the official prize is a pane of stamps. So I think that's 20 or 25 stamps. They give you a pane of stamps, and it's usually signed by the director of the Fish and Wildlife and a bunch of the dignitaries, and that's the only official prize, really, because all the money they raise goes towards habitat. So the artist doesn't make anything off the stamp. Of course, it's just through marketing of the prints and.
Yeah. But the prints is where y'all make your money off this thing. So like when Ducks Unlimited, for example, like puts all the prints in their like package for event package.
Yeah. And then
you make money
then every print that's sold usually gets at least one stamp, sometimes two stamps with it. So
okay. Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. I couldn't remember. But yeah, so it makes it off the print. So you want more, like, that's what I was trying to think, like, because hunters knowing more about it and buying more stamps is not necessarily, because they're going to buy, duck hunters going to buy stamps anyway. They have to buy stamps. So, but the online sale of the stamp doesn't affect y'all at all. You're just going through the print.
Yeah, I think that's true. I don't think that's a real effect,
Yeah. Okay.
Like a lot of hunters just buy the stamp because they have to buy the stamp to hunt, But there's a lot of them that'll buy one for their collection. And
my dad buys like 5 and he does not collect them, but I don't know why he just buys he'll buy like 5.
Yeah, I do too.
Just to have them. Yeah, I think he also has them like in case someone shows up and they didn't buy their stamp. He's like, here you go, sign that one.
Nice, yeah.
Because we take a lot of people hunting, so I think he does it. But because he's always like, all right, I got you a stamp. And I'm like, but I bought my own stamp.
Well, good. That's more money for habitat.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, he does that. I don't know. He just buys like 5 of them. I like buy mine online, but I get it shipped to me. Okay, so what will you do? So you have some promotional stuff you'll have to do, which you don't have to go to. We talked about this before, I think off, but you may not be going to Easton because of government shutdown. But what will you do for the next 3 years? Like, what will you do? Like, what would you focus on now that you're not going to be doing the duck stamp? So artistically, what do you do?
Yeah, well, I'll have some promo of the stamp for the first year, I'm going to judge the junior duck, and we'll do the bunch of promo. As far as what am I going to paint,
Yep. What are you going to
I
paint?
don't know. I have a clean slate right now. I just finished some canvas backs, and I didn't have anything started, so I pulled out one out of the back closet that I had worked on and stopped, and it's a bobcat. But I don't know. It's hunting season. I'm heading out to North Dakota Saturday, and that might determine what I do next. It just kind of depends on what moves me. I don't have any deadlines coming up right now, so it's kind of nice. I can just wait for inspiration and see what happens.
Do you still take commission work?
I do, yeah. Not a lot, It's got to be something that that I'm interested in and that I think I can do a good job of. When you're starting out, you just have to say yes to everything. But right now, if it's a subject matter that I'm interested in, I think I can do a good job of it, I'll do it. I will do commissions, but the next thing I do, I'm not sure.
Scott, I had him on, and do you do what he does? He says if he takes commission, he's got to go hunting wherever his commission is, so he can hunt.
I like the angle, yeah. Well, and it helps too, especially.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. But I was like, it also is fun.
I've done some dog portraits too, and
he said that's the thing he hates the most.
But I always insist that I meet the dog.
Yeah.
Because they could send you 500 photos, but you might not get it right. So if I do a dog portrait or something, or if I paint a certain place, I need to see it. I think to
get the feeling of it. Mm-hmm. I see that, and I get that with a dog too, because a dog has, especially retrievers, they have a lot of expression, and when you meet them, versus,
and their owner knows them so well that there may be one little quirky thing they do with their eye or whatever and if you don't get it right, they're going to know, but you aren't going to know. But if you meet the dog, I think you have a lot better chance of capturing whatever its special qualities are.
Yeah, I was wondering how that worked. Do you have like the same people who commission stuff? Do you do a lot of similar work for people?
I don't. Like I said, I don't do a lot of commissions. It just kind of depends on. I don't do a lot of shows. I don't do any marketing, so I'm kind of just.
Well, you don't need to at this point.
I'm sitting here by myself, and if somebody likes my stuff well enough to track me down, that's a big compliment right there. And then if they have an idea I think I can do justice to, then I'm in.
Okay. I mean, that's the privilege too of getting to where you are in your career. You don't have to.
It's nice.
Yeah, you don't have to do everything that everyone wants you to do. Last question, because if I don't, people will be mad at me. So, how did you feel about the Fargo mention in your career? How was that for you?
I thought it was great. I thought the movie was great, and it was fun to, be a little part of it. And we got to go down to the set and.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they had borrowed all our stuff out of our studio. So the paintings and the easel, all that was out of our...
Oh, that was all of your stuff? So
they took it all and set up a easel in the studio set, with just the three walls. And that was really amazing to walk around the corner and see that. I was like, wow, that looks like... It actually looked more like Bob's studio than mine, but... And then the actor that played the duck stamp artist, he came over and wanted to know all about what it was like, and I love the Coen Brothers movies too.
Yeah, me too. That's what they're like. We were just having a stupid conversation, and I was like, yeah, they're probably my favorite.
They're
directors. Yes, so.
They are amazing. Yeah. And then of course we knew them growing up too. That's how that all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were neighbors. They were about 2 blocks away, and they were older than me, so I didn't know them that well, but they hung out with Joe and Bob and Mark and Amy. They were all the same age. So, and
that's funny.
They were making movies as kids. I remember they made a movie in the woods right out behind our house, and Mark was in it, and
were y'all all so artsy?
Yeah, and so that's kind of, I think. And then when they went off to do their thing, and their mom would always send them articles, like if we'd win, she'd mail them articles. And then if they made a movie or something, our moms would send us the article. So it was kind of cute, really. Anyway, so that was cool to see it come full circle and get a mention in a movie like that.
Yeah, that's funny. That makes so much more sense now. Like that's why they mentioned it.
Yeah, like how else would they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I remember because I grew up in Ducks Unlimited and the world of waterfowl. And I think the first time I saw Fargo, I was probably, high school, college. And I was like, I know who they are.
You're probably the only one in the theater who knew what they were talking about.
I know who they are. But yeah, I didn't realize. It makes so much more sense that y'all grew up together. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Well, and then they had it like a postage stamp too. You remember that the Hautmans won the Duck stamp, but he got the 3-cent stamp or whatever.
Yes.
And we told,
I was like, well, that's not a thing.
We told those guys, it's like, that's not what it's like. It's a. They said, yeah,
that's not a
we
thing.
know, but he needed to win something, so we had. I'm like, that's fine, whatever.
They needed Norm to get his consolation prize. He is the nicest person they're like the nicest two people in that whole movie, so that's why they did it.
I remember when they were first asking about it, I was like, yeah, you're not gonna make this look too ridiculous, are you? Oh no.
No, it's the most it's the homiest part of the movie.
Yeah. I remember watching it in the theater, and a couple people were just cracking up at that part, and I was just thinking, I wonder why. Why are they laughing? Like, is it really that weird of a thing that we do? I guess it is pretty weird painting ducks for a living. I don't know.
I don't know that. Yeah, I didn't. That's not why I did what you did. It's like there's no 3-cent thing. Well, okay. Thank you for humoring me with that. I really had to ask. Well, thanks for doing this. This was really fun.
Well, thanks for having me. It was enjoyable.
Yeah, when you come to Memphis, we'll have to do it again in person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deal. That's a deal.
Thanks, Jim, for coming on the show, and thanks to our producer, Chris Isaac, and thanks to you, our listener, for supporting wetlands and waterfowl conservation.
Thank you for listening to the DUPodcast, sponsored by Purina Pro Plan, the official performance dog food of Ducks Unlimited. Purina Pro Plan, always advancing. Also proudly sponsored by Bird Dog Whiskey and Cocktails. Whether you're winding down with your best friend or celebrating with your favorite crew, Bird Dog brings award-winning flavor to every moment. Enjoy responsibly. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show, and visit ducks.org/DUPodcast. Opinions expressed by guests do not necessarily reflect those of Ducks Unlimited. Until next time, stay tuned to the Ducks.
People choose Morton Buildings to build a variety of buildings for their property any time of year because they know Morton Buildings are built stronger, last longer, and look better. So if you need a garage, a stall barn, or a storage building for an RV, boat, or other vehicles, a shop for your farm, hobbies, or car restoration projects, or anything in between, act now and contact Morton Buildings at mortonbuildings.com. Don't delay. Construction schedules are filling up fast. That's mortonbuildings.com.
At World Whiskey Society, we're serious about two things, ducks and drams. That's why we teamed up with Ducks Unlimited for 3 collector-worthy releases: the Shotgun Shell American Single Malt, the Ceramic Duck Straight Bourbon, and the 10-year Special Edition Kentucky Straight Bourbon. Each bottle celebrates craftsmanship, conservation, and the spirit of the outdoors. Shop the full flight now at worldwhiskey.com. And when you buy any 2 Ducks Unlimited bottles, you'll get 10% off your order at worldwhiskey.com.
Cold mornings, fresh coffee from a thermos, the whistle of wings, and the palpable excitement of a good dog waiting to be sent. The moment before everything comes alive. Out there, it's not just about where the ducks are, it's about where you are. Onyx Hunt helps you understand the land with public and private boundaries, collaborative folders, and a fully functional GPS even with no service. Onyx is a tool you can trust when it matters most, because the best hunts aren't about luck, they're about knowing where you stand. Download Onyx Hunt today and try it free for 7 days.
Hunting season is upon us, and it's time to get geared up for the blind. Winchester, the official ammunition of Ducks Unlimited. Winchester has what you need to be successful this season with a great lineup of shot shell products, including Expert, Dry Lock, Final Pass, and Last Call Double Shot. Check out the brand new Final Pass, a premium steel blend load that utilizes 2 shot sizes for the perfect balance of pattern density and energy. Or try Last Call Double Shot with a devastating payload of tungsten and steel. Visit Winchester.com to learn more and get ready for your next outdoor adventure.
When you step into the duck blind at first light, you're walking into something bigger than the hunt itself. For nearly 40 years, Mossy Oak has been rooted in conservation. From the dirt, sticks, and leaves that inspired original bottomland to the evolution of original shadowgrass and today's shadowgrass habitat. Each pattern tells a story of hunters, waterfowl, and the resource that connects us all. Mossy Oak continues its commitment to Ducks Unlimited through collaborative grassroots projects like Duck DNA and many more. We're thrilled to work side by side with DU and many others from the wildlife community to help protect the wetlands that make it all possible.